women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're murdering me with a war weapon. They're psycho Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I just posted pictures to my YouTube channel, so you could see how thick my hair was and what my face looked like before they started making my face swell, stretching the skin of my forehead, and making my hair fall out. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. So I'm going back to the office. I was at the office, went to my doctor's appointment. I'm heading back to the office. They're making me nauseous. My head feels off. Like I feel lightheaded. Okay? They're making me tired. They're like trying to force me to fall asleep. Okay? So, or they're trying to make me so exhausted that I leave the office. So I don't reach out to any more people. And they don't want me reaching out to realtors or people who are in foreclosure. They don't want me doing diddly squat because they're pretending like they've made claims that I need, and the weapon, it works by itself. All they have to do is they request for something to get investigated. The weapon does the investigation. It concludes the investigation within like a span, it seems like, of a few minutes to a couple hours, and then it concludes the investigation. These terrorists keep triggering the weapon to continuously keep surveilling, even though there's nothing to investigate. So they're attacking me physically with the weapon, causing my face to swell, making my hair fall out, making me dizzy, causing me strokes, playing with my memory, rewiring my brain activity, like doing all kinds of things with the weapon, okay, they're playing with my head so that the weapon remains surveilling, okay? And they're playing with my head. And since this morning, like I said, I went to work. Now I'm on my way. First I went to fix the zipper on my pants that they broke. Then they're playing with my head. I can't communicate what I've been doing all day. Then I went to the office. I just live streamed and I posted it to my YouTube channel, so it'll upload shortly. Then I went to my doctor's appointment, my dermatologist. They're playing with my head. Next week, Thursday, I have a biopsy appointment scheduled so that they could see if I have alopecia. They're making me vomit. The terrorists talking in my head are making me vomit because I requested JAK inhibitors. She said I have blood work scheduled for tomorrow. I went to go see a physical therapist. Across the street there was a physical therapy clinic, so I wanted to see if they took my insurance, since the appointment's not scheduled till the 31st. Now I'm on my way back to my they're playing with my head to work. I'm on my way back to work. I'm struggling. They're causing me a stroke. Do you fucking hear me? I'm struggling to communicate, and one of the men is laughing. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists, and they're pretending there's something to investigate, but there's nothing to investigate. I'm on my way back to the office. They're screaming in my head, trying to stop me from going back to the office. They're doing something to my rectum that's causing sharp pain. They're causing me strokes, screaming in my head, trying to make it sound like voices are coming outside that they need to investigate. So immediately I live stream because it's been they're playing with my head. It's been over a few hours, and they have to start like getting all rowdy again, and they don't feel comfortable when I'm in certain environments because, like I said, the weapon's voice activated. And I'm assuming that the weapon, based on what it needs to, what there is to investigate, okay, it will conclude its investigations pretty quickly, being that there's nothing to investigate. So the terrors talking in my head are constantly triggering it. So they're constantly screaming in my head, being belligerent, being violent, attacking me physically, so that, like I said, my hair falls out, my body swells. I end up having a Charlie horse in my leg, which is excruciating pain. It causes excruciating pain. They're like, haha, you sound retarded. I want you guys to hear what I sound like, because if you hear what my family sounds like, and I have no history of schizophrenia, no history of neurological disorder, I sound like I have a mental disability. In comparison to what I should be sounding like coming from a family of entrepreneurs. One of the psycho terrorists talking in my head is forcing words out of my mouth. She said, "Never mind you effing B," whatever she said. And right when she was saying that, it was starting to force words to come out of my mouth. They caused me Tourette's. They caused me to spit. They caused me blurred vision, slurred speech, jumbled like they're doing now, jumbled thoughts. They're trying to dictate what I say by blocking my mind from communicating what it is I want, what it is that I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, with them attacking me with this weapon. They're hoping that if they block certain receptors and synapses while I'm in the process of communicating, that it will navigate my mind to communicate the way they want me to communicate, so that I appear violent, and so that I appear like I'm on drugs. I appear whatever the perception of me that they want for people to have. They're trying to tailor how I communicate to what it is they want people to perceive me as. They're forcing the words fucking whore out of my mouth and trying to make the sound come out of my mouth without my mouth moving, so they can make it sound like someone else said it. It's fucking weird. They're doing it again. They get really uncomfortable when I'm at the office because people are here. My cousin is here. Celine is here. Patrick, I don't know if Patrick's here because his wedding, he might be. I don't know if that's his trip. My uncle, who is my boss, is typically here. Brittany and Jessica are here. Horst is typically here. And they're all in the same office with me. They don't hear the terrorists talking in my head. Okay? Like, these terrorists want to pretend, they want to pretend like the voices I'm hearing are coming from outside. And they're bothered by me live streaming all the time because I'm protecting everybody, and I'm making sure that there are surveillance records or records, video footage of what I'm doing. Get off of me. Video footage of what I'm doing. They're trying to make me look like I'm being violent on the phone in front of all these people. Okay, they're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They want me screaming that way and pretending like I'm on the phone, not live streaming, okay, in front of all these people. So they want me constantly acting like I don't hear them in my head. And when people hear me cussing and screaming, for me to say I'm on the phone, because I guess my phone records are private, and if someone's investigating me and I said I'm on the phone, they can't gain access to my cell phone records. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head, dude. I want them sentenced to fucking death. They're just not, they're like, they're, hey. They get upset with what I'm doing to protect myself and the people around me from the crimes they're committing. They're obvious, they're talking in my head. It's self-explanatory that there are records involved, okay? It's self-explanatory, okay, that they needed permission to use the weapon. It's self-explanatory that there are people that govern over those records and that are investigating these terrorists. Just by them talking, you can gather that information in your head. When they're talking in your head, if you think logically, you know this is why. But they have people, they have so many of their victims so emotionally abused that they don't know how, like what's going on, how to carry themselves, how to handle it, what makes sense, what doesn't. They have no idea. These are psychopath Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're serial killers. They want to call me ugly while they're murdering me. Okay? As if any, like, just, they're psycho, they're manipulative. Do you hear me? They want you feeling insecure. They keep calling me ugly while they're murdering me, while they are murdering me. They're trying to make my body rot from the inside out until I die. And they want to blame it on drugs, and they want to blame it on the environment. And I was homeless, and nobody wanted me because I was violent, and like they want this image of me, which isn't me. And if there are any criminal actions that they end up being public, like if I were to fight my mom, all that goes public. Okay, if she were to file a police report or evict me or whatever, it's all public information. So the terrorists talking in my head, they want me out, but they don't want any documented evidence. They want me to go hang outside with my own free will with drug addicts and felons in the street so it looks like they're actually conducting an investigation. They want me to cooperate with them and neglect my responsibilities as a mom. And since, of course, that I would never do such a thing. Okay, like, what the fuck? Who in their right mind would do that? And so being that I'm clearly not all out of my mind, I'm dying, but I'm not out of my mind. They're attacking me like every second of the day, causing me strokes, trying to make me sound illiterate, trying to make me making me lose my balance. I'm either dizzy or they're pushing me. It literally feels like someone's pushing me to make me look like I do drugs and I can't walk straight. But they don't want the cops to pull me over and say, hey, we want to do a breathalyzer and a urine test, because if they did, they'd find out that that isn't the case.
that that's not the case. I don't do drugs. They gladly test me. I go to the hospital. See, he made me go cross-eyed right now. I gladly go into the hospital and check myself in. They take a urine sample and blood test every single time. The terrorists talking in my head are full of fucking, they're full of shit. They're serial killers, and they're doing a sweep of all of the evidence, okay? Trying to destroy all the evidence that is left over. Once they find a way to murder me and get away with it, they're gonna do what seems like conduct one last investigation to do a final sweep and have all the records alongside any documented evidence like paper trails destroyed, and have the records that are produced with the telepathy weapon. If they can get it to slide right under the radar, he made me go cross-eyed again. If they can continue on their script without it alerting or flagging the system flagging that the records need to be reviewed, then the system itself basically does a dump of all of the records. If it finds that nothing was flagged and there's nothing relevant, no relevancy to them, and they're just taking up space. It's just like a Walmart surveillance camera. It just goes on and on and on, and when there's no reason to hold on to it, it dumps it, and it just keeps the storage open so that more records can be stored until there's a reason to hold on to them. They are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my fucking head, dude. They're brutally murdering me. They're my hair falling out, okay? My chipped tooth, my swelling of my face, my spinal stenosis, my herniated disc is just someone, okay? It's the equivalent of someone chopping you up into little pieces, little by little, until you die. That's my spinal stenosis I can never repair that. That's like getting a finger cut off. Okay, and my hair, they keep making it fall out. It grows back in, but then all of a sudden, they'll see like baby hairs poking out, and they'll make like a wad of hair fall out. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my fucking head. I'm here at the office. I'm gonna look through my emails. I'm gonna start making calls to county record research. I wish I should have brought my tablet in here. Maybe I'll start doing that so I can live stream while I'm making calls. So it's obvious I'm working, because I got a log. So every time I have to make a call, it logs me out of YouTube. And I want to remain on YouTube while I'm working. I want it to be obvious I'm here. Although, while I'm making calls, I have my cousin to testify. I have my phone records to prove it. Okay. And mind you, the terrorist, even though I'm saying, so here's the stupid part. I could say I'm on the phone, but if I'm not on the phone, and, well, I guess I don't know. I'm talking to someone outside. So here's something weird. Let's say the terrorists are cussing me out, and they're like, "Fuck you, bitch!" And no, of course, no one hears them. I respond. They just made me go cross-eyed, and I respond back, and I say, "Fuck you," but someone's standing around me to hear me say that, and I say, "I'm on the phone. I'm so sorry. Having a bad day or whatever." Right? Assume. So that person didn't hear the other person, or how can, or the terrorist talking in my head would say they don't know if they heard it because they heard me. So as long as there's no camera around and they're not working professionals, it's like, well, we couldn't identify the person that heard Renee, so we couldn't get into their head to find out if in fact he heard what she heard and there were no cameras around. And maybe they're saying they could, maybe they're lying and saying that it seemed, I mean, if he heard me and didn't say, "Am I okay?" But here's the discrepancy. I'm not on the phone, and the record that they produce, that's what I guess I'm trying to say. I can't complete my thought because they're playing with my head. If I'm saying I don't hear them, or that I'm on the phone, and on the record it's obvious that I'm not, the weapon would read, "Oh, she lied about it. She was responding to somebody outside. She wasn't on the phone. And a witness heard Renee." Oh, but if I said I'm on the phone, they would have heard that person. Why wouldn't they say, why wouldn't that person say, "No, you're not. Who are you arguing with?" That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to put the pieces together, but they're playing with my head. Why wouldn't the person in public, if they heard me cussing and screaming, say, "No, you didn't"? Or no, you weren't. If the terrorists are claiming that the voices are coming from outside, and I'm obviously not on the phone. Wouldn't that be weird? Whether they identify the person or not? And then if they don't say that, and they're like, "Oh, okay, but on the record, it's obvious that I wasn't on the phone," wouldn't that be a discrepancy? Something that's inconsistent that would flag the record? So the terrorists, the environment they want me in is like an environment where it's like, if someone were walking by, there's a lot of noise already going on outside, that if I were to say something, if I were to lie and say I'm on the phone, there's really no way to tell if I was lying and I'm on the phone or talking to somebody outside. which would leave the person somewhat puzzled if they heard me. Like 2 homeless people that are schizophrenic, or one schizophrenic person that's homeless standing outside, okay, among a bunch of drug addict homeless, okay, and you hear them, well, fuck you, this, that, whatever, the homeless people, while they're talking, and the terrorists talking in their heads would blend in with the drug addicts, so that way if he were to say something, it would sound like they're mumbling about, but then I guess they wouldn't want them to have a phone then, because then it's like, so it could confirm that he's talking to somebody outside. And then someone would say, "Are you okay?" And it's like, "No, I don't give whatever. Yeah, I'm fine," or whatever they say. Then it looks like they could be talking about the drug addicts. They could be talking about anybody. I want to know what environments are most inviting and comfortable for these psycho bitches to talk in. People can't tell I have schizophrenia when I'm just walking. I mean, I'm dressed up. Look at me, I'm dressed up. I go to work. Nobody can really tell that I hear voices. On occasion, people see me and I laugh. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to myself. I don't know. Okay. I'll think about that later. I got things to do. I got calls to make. I'm still at work and I'm feeling a little sick right now. Thank you, Angela. I want, they're not just murdering me, they're stealing and robbing from my family. I want them to fucking die, dude. They're Egyptian American Muslim women, they're talking in my head. Ew, they're so fucking gross. They keep laughing in my head while I'm in pain. Dude, the more and more, like, they're psycho. They're psycho. They're just making it more obvious every single day that I discover, like, how adamant they are, like, how psycho they fucking actually are. They need to be sentenced to death. This isn't a joke. This isn't one of those things where you can't put up a fight. Like, I can't just fold. I have to fight back because I want them sentenced to death. And fighting back means making it clear they have nothing to investigate while they're playing with my fucking head. Dude, please help me sentence them to death. Help me sentence the women to death, please. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're talking in my head. They're talking in my head. They're touching me. They're disgusting garbage, please. It's hurting me that I can't provide for my kids. At least they can't. At least they can't mask that pain and that yearning to be on my feet. It's on the record. So it's obvious they're hurting me. I want them sentenced to death, please. So it's obvious they're murderers. Please. I want them sentenced to death. They're gross. They keep playing with my private parts right now. They're so fucking desperate. Okay, they're pretending. I am. They're psycho Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. I want to live stream because they're pretending their voice is coming from outside. And recording is my saving grace. That's what makes me feel comfortable. everything they're doing to me and everything they're threatening to do to me is exactly what the government wants to make obvious. They want to prove that this is exactly what these bitches are doing. Right now I hear 3 or 4 of them. Look at this is how many deals I had. All those are legitimate deals. These are people that qualify for a loan or okay, they either need a loan or they're buying a home and they qualify. One of them has more than enough money for a down payment, and I've been looking for houses for them, and the terrorists talking in my head don't want me making money. They're like, oh, you fucking bitch, look at that. Like, they want to make it up. They're psycho. We're trafficking all these people to find someone else to work with. Ha ha. They're talking in my head. This is what the government wants to prove, but I want to add layers so that there's nothing at all. Like, I want to seal every fucking gap that gives these terrorists any room to get away with what they've been doing. I want them sentenced to fucking death. Yeah. The psycho terrorist screaming in my head right now is like, I want to scream in your daughter's head. I want to fucking scream in your daughter's head. Over and over again. I can't capture you saying that on this live stream now. Why don't you figure that out? And I'm making them all public. She keeps calling me ugly because she doesn't want me recording. Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that I have confidence in you that you're getting sentenced to death, and I'm not gonna stop recording to make it clear. And as to why she's talking in my head, dictating what I'm saying, I'm making it clear I can't capture the psycho terrorist bitch's voice on my live stream. So now one of the men, it's the woman's she's not the piece of shit terrorist. It was a woman talking. She's not cutting it, so one of the piece of shits just laughed. But nobody cares what you think. If they did, why don't you go speak your mind out loud in public where people can hear you and not in my head? They use the voices of 20-year-olds. That is very concerning. Do you understand me? That's what they sound like. I gotta clear these records. I want them all sense to do. I do get professional help. I already see a psychiatrist. I see a psychiatrist. And I am on medication, and it works. It dulls them down, but it's not enough to get them, like they're still, like I get dizzy with the medication. I'm falling asleep with the medication. Dude, I want to clear. Thank you, Welly Check. Please live stream for your own safety. You clearly have a phone. Get on it and live stream. You need to protect yourself too. They're pretending to be voices coming from outside. Wally Jack. The Wally. Get on your live stream, okay? Pulling on I can feel when they're pulling my muscles in my forehead and my face. Yeah. The terrorist talking in my head is saying, I'll face the death penalty, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that I stop you from making these records. The records, basically flagging the records so that they get investigated. talking. She keeps saying, I'm not arguing, whatever the fuck that means. So at the moment, I am getting all the numbers for people that are in foreclosure so I can call them. Either, I don't think I'll get to it today, but tomorrow. So I'm just getting the numbers ready for tomorrow. I'm getting the numbers ready for tomorrow. They make me so sick that I'm moving they're playing with my head. I'm like so sick to my stomach on top of the fact that they're slowing me down so I don't make contact with people. So they'll hurt me, they'll do something to hurt me, and I won't notice that they've done it until a week or two later or a few days later or whenever I realize, yes, I do. And the terror's talking in my head. Basically, when I discover, like, oh shit, they were talking in my head so heavy, or they made me so dizzy I forgot something, then they start, like, they make these spitting sounds in my head. They'll say, ha, you fucking bitch, ha, 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 get the picture in my head. They're talking in my head. I say in my head that way because I'm shocked at the fact that people are talking inside my head. They're making me yawn, they're pulling on these muscles in my face, and they're making me sick. Maybe they're gonna make claims that someone murdered me. I'm wondering what in God's name are they going to say? it's gross when they're obviously obsessed with you, but they try to, like, they keep laughing, but it's obvious they're not laughing, they're just psycho. Because they keep doing it over and over again. They're hurting me, they're hurting me. I have 45 people I have to research. Get their numbers. I really actually should be looking if I know. Yes, I guess I'm good. They're hurting me. Working inside. Sorry. Wow, Jake, why aren't the Wally Jack or whatever it is, why aren't you live streaming? Can you explain that to me? Thank you, Amir. Yeah, I did. Get off of me. They keep screaming, go die in my head. Imagine someone's following you around literally every second of the day, and the minute you are in your own zone, they start saying, hey, like, hey, Renee, but they're laughing and joking around and like but it's not funny anymore. Like, it couldn't possibly be funny to anyone. Like, if someone did that to you, you'd think they'd have a mental disability. Yeah. Or something was wrong with them. Yeah. Off of me. They keep screaming. So my daughter's at home and she never wants to leave the house. And the terrorists they don't want me coming to work, okay? And they keep saying, go be with your daughter. Go, because they want to scream in my head while I'm behind closed doors and no one else is there with me but my daughter. Because she's less likely to be bothered by, and she doesn't know the severity of schizophrenia. Yeah. The terrorists do not want me in environments, so my boss just walked in. He doesn't hear them. And see how they occupy so much of my mind so that I can't get involved with anybody. Yeah. People are obviously watching these psychos. People are obviously that know about the weapon that they're using to talk into my head are obviously investigating the terrorists. Did I see? Oh yeah. They want my email to get spammed, so they tried to get me to send a ton of emails. But it's obviously no longer my private email if I'm using it for business. I'm assuming if it's business related that I use my email that he just said something weird in my head. That the government would have entitlements to, like they would be able to subpoena all these records. Did Celine leave? Celine left or no? I wonder what happened to DeCarey. Let me ask Albert. Off of me. They're playing with my head so that I want to fall asleep literally on the spot. The women are disgusting. They're seeing me dying and hurt over my daughter and you're fucking disgusting. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists screaming in my head, literally constant. It is every second of the day. So the women are the biggest. they're the sickest, I swear. I swear. So they scream in my head like they're talking to the men, like it's two men arguing, like it's a woman and a man arguing. And the woman was like, she's not cooperating. She's not cooperating. Like I'm a dog. Like he's the one who suggested to buy a dog, okay, or adopt a dog, and she was against it, and now I'm not cooperating, and he needs to handle it when the psycho terrorists got behind the weapon so that they could bail out the men from the death penalty. You're really listening to me? You have no idea. I'm dizzy all the time. I'm sick all the time. I like this is insane. It's literally every second of the day. I need money. My kids need help. So I work commission, and the terrorists talking in my head are like, you're making it obvious you can work. I haven't made a dime. They're like, what is Social Security if they find out what? Yes, my kids need financial support. My son is going off to San Luis Obispo, and he needs rent paid for, and my daughter needs she needs a car. She's just turned 16. We need things. I can't just sit on my ass and be disabled. I wish. Honestly, I'm so handicapped. If I could raise like, I know this sounds crazy, but my son needs at least 30,000. My daughter needs a car, like 5-10 grand. If I could get her a used car and pay for her insurance till she's 18, 20. And I hate. Okay. I don't know how far I am on this list of numbers. I think I got I mean, I'm not going anywhere until I'm done, but well, if you know anybody who raises money, send them my way. The terror's talking in my head. They keep pointing out that there are people watching me, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I'm live streaming and I'm making it public, so it's obvious I don't do drugs. I'm at work. I'm working. I'm actually working right now. It feels like they're pulling on the muscles in my face. The terror's talking in my head. It feels like they're tugging on my face. So right now I'm gathering people's phone numbers because I'm going to be making calls all day tomorrow. Earlier today, I was reaching out to realtors to let them know that I also do mortgage financing. I was pricing out all their properties, letting them know the interest rates today. because I want to establish an ongoing relationship with realtors. So that way I don't have to keep looking for people. People just start sending me, they'll start sending me their business. I actually have to hop on a call with one of them. Her name is Jane, and she asked me to create a flyer for her so she could take it to her open house. And all day, basically, I'm calling people. And that's it, all day. Thank you. What do you do? Bobby, what do you do? Are you in California? You walk a dog? That's nice. Oh, okay. The men that are talking in my head are so livid at the situation. They've lost control, and they know it. They want control of me. They don't want to sit there and use the weapon. And they're upset because they're like flipping, they're doing cartwheels to try to get me to cooperate and not say that I hear the women talking in my head who are bailing them out of the death penalty. And I obviously won't be cooperating with that. I won't be cooperating with not saying I hear them in my head. Or any of them, for that matter. They're so stupid weird, dude. I don't understand it. Right now, one of them is screaming in my head. He's saying, "You stupid bitch." I don't understand why they sound so, the terrorists talking in my head sound almost shocked that they don't have control. is playing with my mind. It is more than annoying. It is debilitating. There's music playing in the background and it's so loud in my head I can't even hear the music. Like I just caught like a little bit of the melody. Can you guys hear the music? What I would give to hear absolutely nothing in my head. To hear just silence. Well, why don't you do it? It's not like anybody has anything to say to you. They're going all the way around in circles to make sure that they get to you. They're having to approach it. So do I, apparently. Yeah. Several. So if you haven't, why are you still talking in my head? Like it's not in your pocket, or like what's in your pocket will run out? So the terrorists are laughing in my head like they got away with it, or they're getting away with it. But it's, if they got away with it, that means there's no need for them to be talking in my head. Did you put it in the stock market and is that how it collapsed the first time? مش عايزين يعيطوا على الناس ليه؟ ما ياخدوني يا هرمية. You heard me in my head. But why does it matter? Shouldn't I have known with me before? Let's go lie down. I want the United States government to sentence these terrorists talking in my head to death. Oh, Lord. Your dad's on the phone, huh? Is it detached? The trend. Oh, it's right there.